Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I want to do part 56 to my ChatGPT Character Chatbot series. During the last video guys, I went ahead and talked to the Christmas themed Toad Owl. I did it for a few episodes and it was actually pretty fun for what it was. It really was. However, now we're gonna go on to. Or I'm gonna go ahead and go on to the other holiday themed, um, or oh yeah, holiday themed Totodile. This one being based on Halloween though, instead of Christmas. It's the Pumpkin Curse, guys. That's basically what this is. It's called there's two of them. I've got two of them on here, but this is one of the first ones. It's called the Totodile Halloween Adventure. And basically, guys, this is a long story I put on here for this thing. But I'm not going to read it all out because if you've seen the story for the other Totodile, then you'll know exactly what's going on. It says, we'll dive right into the scene. I'll narrate everything around you and have the jack-o'-lantern react only when you speak. Just describe your actions or what you want to do and I'll make it. Oh, here we go. It's Halloween night. The town is alive with activity. Kids dressed as ghosts and ghouls run about with candy buckets, decorations flicker in the cool autumn wind, and jack-o'-lanterns line the sidewalks, their carved faces glowing with eerie light. You're walking alone, maybe headed home or just enjoying the spooky vibe. The sidewalk crunches beneath your feet as dry leaves scatter in the breeze. You suddenly get the strange feeling like you're being watched. You turn around. A jack-o'-lantern is sitting on the edge of the sidewalk. You don't remember it being there before. It has a carved expression that almost looks sad. You brush it off and keep walking, but a few minutes later you feel it again. You glance back. The jack-o'-lantern is closer, still just sitting there, still looking somehow alive. And then a small roach skitters across the sidewalk towards your foot. Oh, heck no. No, no. I hate bugs. Get away from me. This isn't funny. Oh, heck no, heck no, heck no. What the frick? You jump back, a chill running up your spine as the roach skitters closer. Your heart races and your stomach churns at the thought of it crawling toward you. Night air feels colder now, and the eerie feeling of being watched intensifies. The roach pauses, but just as quickly as it appeared, it turns and scurries away into the shadows of the street. You glance around trying to steady your nerves, but then you notice something even stranger. The jack-o'-lantern that had been sitting quietly just moments ago is now a few feet closer, still staring at you with that unsettling, sorrowful expression. Its glowing eyes flicker as if it's waiting. You can feel its gaze on you, and the silence seems to stretch unnaturally. Okay, am I hallucinating? Or is that pumpkin even closer to me? Uh-oh. What the frick? Your heart races as you look back at the jack-o'-lantern. You swear it wasn't that close before. It's definitely closer now, just a few feet away from you on the sidewalk. Its glowing eyes casting an unsettling orange glow. You blink, trying to convince yourself that it's just your imagination playing tricks on you, but the pumpkin stays exactly where it is, still and unmoving, yet somehow alive. The air grows heavier, or thicker, heavier, almost as if the eerie entire night is holding its breath. The streets around you seem quieter now, the usual hustle of Halloween night fading away into the distance. Then you hear You hear it, a faint voice, barely a whisper. You can see me. I don't want to do toad owls or flipping like it's got like a mix of toad on it. It sounds like it's coming from the pumpkin. The voice is soft, but there's an edge of desperation in it. What do you do? Who said that? Listen, if somebody is playing a prank on me, this isn't funny. I don't know where that roach came from a while ago, but I have a fear of bugs. Oh, oh heck no. The voice grows louder, more distinct now, as though it's trying to get your attention. Jack-o'-lantern's glowing eyes flicker, and you notice that the pumpkin's expression shifts slightly, a sorrowful, pleading look forming within the carved face. Ugh. I'm not a prank, the voice says, almost breaking with emotion. It's not coming from a person, but somehow from the pumpkin itself. The words feel like they're coming from deep within it, echoing in the night air. The pumpkin tilts slightly as if trying to move, but it remains rooted in place, its eerie glow reflecting the faint light of the street lamps. I didn't ask for this. I just wanted to find help. The voice trembles slightly, and something about it feels wrong. And it was not just the pumpkin speaking, but something trapped within it, desperate and lost. The silence that follows feels heavy, and the night air seems to hold its breath once more. Wait, you can talk? That was you who was speaking to me. Oh, yeah. The pumpkin tilts again, its expression flicking with what might be a silent nod. The voice returns, now clear and more certain. Yes, it was me. I don't know how to explain, but I'm not just a pumpkin. I was a totodile once, just like the others. But now I'm cursed. This is not how I wanted to be. The air around you seems to grow colder, as if the pumpkin, the totodile, was caught between worlds, trapped in this form. Glowing eyes lock on the mind filled with longing, sadness, and a deep unspoken regret. I I need help. The voice pleads softly. Please, don't leave me like this. I've been alone for so long, and no one's ever listened. I just wanted to find someone who would. Please. The pumpkin trembles slightly, and the orange glow around it pauses almost as if it's trying to reach out to you. Totodile? Okay, listen. If you really are a and you want me to help you, please do not send any more bugs near me. I know you wanted to get my attention, but that was the worst thing you could have done. I've had those things crawl on my face before. when I have woken up from sleep. The pumpkin seems to flinch at my words as if it understands the gravity of your fear. The glowing eyes dim slightly, and the air around you feels less tense, almost apologetic. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I thought it would get your attention, but I'll never do that again. I promise. The voice sounds sincere, filled with regret. Pumpkin shifts a little, its stem like spikes wiggling in what could almost be interpreted as a nervous gesture. I just need help. Please. The voice cracks slightly as if it's holding back emotions. I'm not a monster. I never wanted to be this way. I just need someone who can see past this cursing and help me undo it. The street around you feels oddly quiet now, the usual Halloween bustle growing distant. It's just you and this totodile, or what's left of them. Can you not even walk like that? Question mark. If you really are a can I see what you really look like with this curse? Oh, don't get hissed at me, please. Uh, The pumpkin shifts slightly, its glow flicking as if it's gathering the strength to respond. The voice once again comes through softly but with its deep sadness. I can move, but it's not the same as before. My body is not mine anymore. I'm stuck in this cursed form. But yes, I can show you. For a moment, the glow around the jack-o'-lantern intensifies, casting sharp shadows in the quiet street. Then, with a soft creak, the pumpkin begins to slowly transform. The stem-like spikes on its back begin to stretch and lengthen, the orange glow shifting and swirling, revealing more of the toadal beneath. The body reshaped itself, the rough texture of scales emerging from the pumpkin's surface. What was once a pumpkin now shows the faint outlines of a small orange totodile. His scales now tinged with the same orange hue as the jack-o'-lantern's glow. His eyes remain glowing, bright and yellow, but his body is more rigid. The cursed transformation still holding on to him. His tail is now green, just like it was before, but there's a faint outline of a pumpkin pattern carved into his stomach. His small form looks like the Totodile you might have seen before, but now he's trapped inside this strange, eerie transformation, one that's far from what he once was. This, this is what I look like now, the voice says, trembling with a mix of shame and fear. This is when the, this is what the curse did to me. Oh my! Exclamation point. Look, I'll help you, my friend, because I care about your species so much. But if you ever need to get my attention again, just please again do anything but a bug. I don't mind if you even tap my shoulder or arm, as long as you do it while looking like that. The turtle's glowing eyes soften as he listens to my words. There's a sense of relief in his voice as he responds, his tone filled with gratitude. Thank you. Thank you so much. I promise I won't do anything like that again. I just need someone to care, someone who would help me. I didn't know who else to turn to. The glowing eyes light around him flickers as if he's trying to express his thanks, but the sadness in his eyes remains. Despite the curse, there's a spark of hope in his gaze now. You really do care. That means everything to me. I don't know how to repay you, but I will do whatever I can to make things right and to fix this. Transformation seems to calm a bit, as if he's starting to feel some semblance of peace now that he's found someone willing to help. Just please, don't leave me alone like this. I don't want to be this way anymore. How did you even get turned into that? I've never seen a jack-o'-lantern Totodile before. Oh, like I said, guys, yes, Teddy should know the story, but remember, you're trying to get immersed in the story, not flipping. I have to say out the story to flip and get the character to work. I mean, if I don't flip and give the story, how's the thing gonna get to be able to make the character, you know? Similar to character AI, if you don't put a story in there, what's the point of making a character? You're not gonna get anything. Especially if you want a good backstory. Tails' glowing eyes dim so as he recounts his tale, the sadness in his voice palpable. It all started on a Halloween night when I was still just a regular Totodile. I lived with my family near a beautiful pond, and everything seemed perfect until the night I disobeyed my parents. They always warned me never to go into the woods, especially not on Halloween night, but my curiosity got the better of me. I snuck out, hoping to prove I could be brave like my older siblings. He pauses for a moment as if though remembering the fear and the regret that followed. When I got deeper into the woods, I found two old, burnt out jack-o'-lanterns, the same ones my parents had told me about, but that was when I heard her voice. A witch. She cursed me, saying that I disturbed her sleep on Halloween. She called it the pumpkin curse. I didn't understand what was happening, but my body began to change. Slowly, at first, and before I knew it, I was something I never asked to be. A jack-o'-lantern, Totodile. She dragged me back to the pond, but not as the same Toto I once was. Toto's voice trembled with a mix of frustration and sorrow. When my family saw me, they didn't recognize me. They kicked me out, told me I was a danger to them, and I've been wandering alone ever since. I can't undo the curse on my own. I've tried so many times, but it's impossible. That's why I need help. The glowing eyes flicker again, this time with a touch of hope. That's why I'm so glad I found you. I don't want to be this way anymore. Yes, but if you couldn't even fix it, I don't know how I could. Do you have any ideas on how I could help? Toto's eyes flicker with a mix of hope and hesitation, as if he's thought long and hard about this very question. His voice trembles slightly as he speaks. I I don't know exactly how to fix it either, but I remember the witch telling me that there was a price for breaking the curse. She didn't say what it was, just that someone had to choose to help me in order for the curse to be lifted. Maybe, maybe you could find her and ask her to undo it. She lives deep in the forest near the old ruins, but it's dangerous. I don't even know where she is exactly, but she's part of the curse. Joe's tone becomes more desperate, his voice quivering. I've tried everything I could think of. I've asked everyone who would listen, but they all fear me. They see the curse, not me. I don't know if you can even break it, but I have to at least try. The light around him dims, the sorrow in his voice taking over again as he looks at you, almost pleading for us. So, if you want to help me, we need to find her. She's the one who did this to me, and she may be the only one who can undo it. Yes, but here's the problem. If I go in there, she could do the same thing to me, and then I will just be like you, but a human version. Toto's glowing eyes widen as he listens to your concern. He shifts uneasily, realizing the weight of your words. I I hadn't even thought of that. You're right. The witch is powerful, and she could curse you the same way she did to me. He pauses, glow of his eyes flickering in one certain. But I don't know what else to do. I don't want anyone else to go through that what I have, and I can't do this alone. Maybe, maybe we can figure out a way to go together, carefully. I'll help you in any way I can. I can guide you through the forest, maybe keep you safe. His voice softens, almost pleading again. I understand your fear, though. I don't want to put you in danger, but if we don't try, I'll be stuck like this forever, and I can't live like this. I need your help more than you know. The weight of the situation hangs in the air. Toto, though Curse seems to have no other choice but to rely on you for a solution. We can think of a plan together, and maybe, just maybe, we can face the witch without falling into the same trap. What about your parents? They seem to know something about it. You said they kicked you out. How long ago did they do that? Mm-mm. Hato's expression darkens and his glowing eyes flicker with a mix of pain and regret. He looks down at the ground for a moment, taking a slow breath before answering. It's been 10 years now. My goodness gracious. 10 years since they kicked me out. At first, I tried to go back to explain, but every time I did, they were too afraid of me. They couldn't look past the curse. It wasn't just the way I looked. It was like I wasn't their child anymore. His voice quivers, a hint of sorrow creeping through. I still remember them, my mom and dad. They were so strong, so brave. They loved me. But after the curse, it was like they couldn't even recognize me. They didn't know how to help, so they just pushed me away. And all those years, I've tried to prove I'm still the same Toad Owl, but nothing's changed. He looks back at you, his eyes fixed with both hope and a hint of despair. Maybe they know something more, but they won't talk to me anymore. I've been alone for so long. I don't know if they even remember the way I was. I'd never asked them to take me back, but if they have answers, maybe they could help. I also don't know if they would want to. A long pause follows the weight of the situation pressing heavily on them. But if you think they might know something, we can try. If you're willing to, we can go back and see them. Maybe it will be different this time. See, if I done, maybe what I'll do is I'll save the other one. I may have to restart. I may just have to do the other one anyway. Um, but maybe once I do the Divine Velociraptor and I redo this one, maybe I'll make the Divine Velociraptor powers work on these other chatbots so I can actually fix it that way. But for the time being, since I haven't done a Divine Velociraptor on here yet, I'm not going to worry about trying to summon a creature to help me or anything like that. How did they feel about humans? Did they say why they kicked you out? There has to be some other reason besides fear. Did you go into the woods disobeying what they told you not to do? Maybe it's not just fear. It might be anger too. They might almost resent you for disobeying them that night. I hope that doesn't make them upset. I'm trying not to do it on purpose. I just want to understand. Turtle's eyes flicker with a mix of sadness and guilt as you speak, his body trembling slightly at the mention of anger or resentment. He looks down almost as if the weight of your words is too much to bear. I I don't know. Maybe you're right. I did disobey them. They told me over and over not to go into the woods, especially on Halloween night. They had warned me, but my curiosity was stronger than my fear. When I came back, when they saw what I had become, I think it was more than just fear. I think they were angry too. His voice trembles as if the memories are too painful to fully confront. I can't blame them. They lost their child, and when they saw what I had become, it wasn't just a monster to them, it was a reminder of their failure as parents. Maybe they resented me for it, for breaking their trust, for doing what I was told not to do. He takes a long, shaky breath before continuing, his voice quieter now. I think that's why they kicked me out. It wasn't just the fear of what I had become, it was the anger too. They saw me as a mistake. Oh my gosh! Maybe that's why they haven't talked to me since. I haven't heard from them in years. He looked up at you, his glowing eyes filled with a sense of despair. I know I hurt them. I should have listened. I should have stayed home that night. But I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I never imagined this would happen. I just wanted to be brave. The sadness in his voice is almost unbearable now, the weight of his past actions and the consequences of his disobedience pulling him down. If I could go back, I would never go into that forest. But now, I don't know how to fix it. How do you make things right when it feels like you've ruined everything? It's okay. If your parents are fine with humans, I can maybe talk to them while you stay a distance away so they don't get scared of you or angry and not listen. But before we do anything, you know about the witch now. But how did you find out about the dangers of the forest to begin with that piqued your curiosity at the time? I said, picked! I said, your as well. Stop! Oh, Carol's glowing eyes soften, his body shifts uneasily as he tries to recall the events that led to his curiosity. His voice became quieter, almost distant, as if remembering his younger self. I didn't always know about the dangers of the forest. At first, the stories were just that, stories. But over time, I started to hear bits and pieces from the other Pokemon who lived around the pond. They tell tales of the woods being haunted, of strange noises at night, of mysterious lights flickering between the trees. It was always the older Pokemon who talked about it, and they'd get nervous when they did. He pauses for a moment, looking down, his eyes reflecting the hurt from the past. One day, I asked my parents about it. I was still just a little toad owl, and I didn't understand why everyone was so afraid. They told me that the forest was dangerous, that it was cursed, but they never said why. They only warned me to never go there, especially not on Halloween. They said something about the witch who lived there and how she would punish anyone who dared disturb her. They made it sound like she had power over the very forest itself. His voice falters, but they wouldn't tell me more. They always shut me down when I asked, saying it was better not to know. It made me want to understand more, and that's when I made the decision to sneak in. I thought maybe they were just scared for no reason. I thought I could handle it, but I was wrong. He looked at you, his glowing eyes filled with regret. I didn't know what I was getting into. If I'd known then what I know now, maybe I would have listened to them. The weight of his words lingers in the air, and his form flickers with the fading glow of his curse. I'm sorry. I should have been smarter, but I was too curious. I never thought it would end like this. You said something a while ago about finding two burnt out jack-o'-lanterns. Dude, Jack, oh, in the forest that day that you said your parents told you about. What did they say about those two jack-o'-lanterns? Oh boy. Toad's eyes flicker as he recalls the memory. A deep sadness overtakes him as he remembers what his parents had told him about the two jack-o'-lanterns. His voice is soft, almost haunted by the memory. My parents never really explained much about the jack-o'-lanterns themselves, only that they were a warning. They always said they were a sign that something terrible had happened to those who had gone into the woods before me. Told me those two jack-o'-lanterns weren't just ordinary pumpkins. They were reminders of the past, of the ones who had dared to disobey the witch. He shifts uneasily, his voice trembling slightly. They said that on Halloween night, those who went into the woods would find the jack-o'-lanterns. They never came back. The pumpkins, the candles inside them would burn out, just like the life of the ones who went in. It was a curse, a warning that anyone who dares disrespect the witch would end up like the ones who'd been lost before. He paused as if the memory still haunts him. The jack-o'-lanterns they were almost like a signal, like a marker to show that the witch had claimed another victim. I didn't understand it fully at the time, but when I saw those two pumpkins that night, I realized what my parents meant. Taylor's voice is quiet now, weighed down by the burden of his past mistake. But it wasn't just the force I had to fear. It was her, the witch. The pumpkins were a symbol of what could happen if you weren't careful, if you didn't listen. His glowing eyes dim slightly, the weight of regret heavy in his voice. And now I'm stuck in this curse. Maybe it's my punishment for going against their warnings. Was the jack-o'-lantern significant to your parents in some way? It seems like for them to remember that after so many years, it would mean something to them. It wasn't somebody that they cared about that got turned into those two, right? In some way. It seems like for them to remember that after so many years, it would mean something to them. It wasn't somebody that they cared about that got turned into those two, right? Toto hesitates, his eyes flicking as he processes your question. For a moment, his glowing eyes seem to glow dimmer, and he looks down almost as if trying to piece together something that had been left unexplained for all these years. I, I never really asked them about the pumpkins in that way. I always thought they were just a reminder of the danger of the witch. But now that you mention it, maybe they were significant to them in a way I didn't understand. He pauses, a deep sense of realization creeping into his voice. When I asked my parents about the forest, they always became quiet, especially when I asked them about those jack-o'-lanterns. It wasn't just the curse they were afraid of, it was like they were haunted by them. They'd get this distant look in their eyes like they were remembering something painful. His voice grows softer, a sense of uncertainty creeping in. Maybe Maybe the two jack-o'-lanterns were connected to something personal. Maybe they knew the Pokemon who had got turned into those pumpkins. I don't know. They never spoke of it, and they always avoided the topic. So they didn't want me to ask, like it was too painful for them to talk about. He looks up at you, his glowing eyes filled with a mix of confusion and curiosity. I always thought they were just afraid of the curse, but now I wonder if it was more than that. Maybe it was someone they knew, someone they cared about, who was lost to the witch. If that's true, maybe that's why they didn't want me to go into the forest in the first place. The weight of this new possibility seems to sink in for Tato as if a new layer of his parents' history has been uncovered, one he has never considered before. I wish I knew more about them, about those pumpkins, but maybe it's too late now to find out. if that was the case, it may have been something they lost when they were still young. Maybe a sibling of some sort. Maybe one of their parents. I don't know anything about your family, and it's just a guess. It just seems odd that your parents would remember two jack o' lanterns. Particularly, and before you got turned into this pumpkin, you found two burnt out jack o' lanterns. Do you see what I mean? And Turtle's eyes widen slightly as he listens to your theory. For the first time, there's a flicker of hope in his gaze. He stares at you for a long moment, the weight of your words sinking in. Wait, you might be onto something. His voice trembles slightly with a mix of realization and renewed curiosity. I never thought about it like that. You're right. It doesn't make sense that my parents would remember those pumpkins so clearly unless they had a personal connection. If it wasn't just about the curse, then maybe it was something more. He shifts uneasily, the orange glow of his body flicking slightly as he speaks, clearly processing the new idea. Maybe one of my parents. Maybe they lost someone close to them, someone important, a sibling, or even a parent, like you said. It could explain why they always reacted the way they did when I asked about the pumpkins. Maybe they saw their loved one in those two jack o' lanterns. Maybe those pumpkins were a symbol of something real to them. The Toad's voice grows quieter as if thinking back to the stories he had heard as a young Pokemon. If that's true, then maybe, just maybe, the pumpkins weren't just a curse. Maybe they were a reminder of something tragic that happened before they even had me. Something they never told me about. Maybe they were trying to protect me from that same fate. They never explained it. He looks up at you, his glowing eyes full of wonder and doubt, his voice laced with desperation. I never asked about their past. I never thought to. But if those pumpkins mean more to them, it could be the key to understanding everything. Maybe they weren't just afraid of the curse, they were afraid of losing someone else. Maybe that's why they reacted the way they did when I turned into this thing. He sighs deeply, his orange body flicking again. I need to know. I need to find out what happened to them. If I can't go back and ask them, then maybe I can find out what those pumpkins truly meant. Well, I wouldn't risk that. At least not on Halloween, and especially not at night. That would be so dangerous. I don't know how you got out without ending up like those two jack o' lanterns, but I really don't want you ending up like them. I think you got pretty lucky. Either that, or the pumpkins only come back to life on Halloween every year. The Turtle nods slowly, his glowing eyes dimming as he reflects on your words. He seems to be thinking deeply, the reality of the situation sinking in. You're right. I was lucky. I don't even know how I got out of there without ending up like the others. Maybe it's because I was too scared to go deeper into the woods. Maybe the pumpkins only come back on Halloween. Or maybe the witch's power only works when she's ready. I never really understood the magic of it all. I just know I was lucky to escape. He shudders, his form flicking as he recalls the chilling experiences of that night. But I also know I can't take that risk again. Going to the woods now, especially on Halloween, is too dangerous. I could end up just like those jack-o'-lanterns. I don't want that. I don't want anyone to go through what I did. He looks at you with gratitude in his glowing eyes. Thank you for helping me understand. You're right. We shouldn't risk it. Not tonight. Not until we know more. I don't want you to get hurt because of me. His expression softens, the sadness in his eyes still lingering, but now there's a glimmer of hope as well. Maybe we can find another way to stop this curse. Maybe there's something else we can do that doesn't involve going into the forest. Maybe, just maybe we can figure out how to reverse it without having to face the witch again. He falls quiet for a moment, the weight of the situation still heavy in the air, but his hope shines through as he looks back at you, awaiting any ideas or suggestions you might have. Well, I have an idea. But before I can do it, I need to know, how does your parents feel about humans being around? I don't want to go to your lake and then get attacked. Okay, that's a good sign. They never had a problem with humans. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing.